Alright, get the fuel tank back on, and now I am going to change the oil. So I've got my engine warmed up, got my 8mm socket, or 8mm, yeah, socket there, and we're gonna see if we can get this loose without burning ourselves. Alright, so we're going to let that drain for a while. I don't think you want to watch oil drain. If you've watching these videos, you've probably done this before, so you know what it's like to drain oil. So I'm going to pause it for a little bit. Alright, I don't know how much you can see over here, but I've got my oil filter wrench on my ratchet. And we're going to break that oil filter loose and go ahead and drain the oil. Usually I wear gloves to do this because I don't like to get this oil and gas and all that on my hands. But when I was adjusting the valves, I took my gloves off and I've got my hands all greasy now and just haven't gone in to clean them to put my gloves back on. So really don't like doing it, but every once in a while it happens. Alright, so there we go, there's our oil filters off. So we're just going to let that drain for a little bit. And it's nice to see it does have a genuine BMW oil filter on it. Alright, I'll be right back for the next step. Alright, here's a learning tip for you. I don't know if you can see this oil filter. This is what came off the bike. And as you can see here, the seal stayed up there. So that's one thing you have to check every time you change your oil, and make sure that seal comes off, because if I go to put my other oil filter on there, it'll probably thread on and everything will be fine until I start it and it starts to leak oil, and you might get running down the road and pump all your oil out on the ground. So I haven't had this happen in a very long time, but always check your oil filter and make sure that seal comes off. Like I said, on this one it did not, so I'm gonna have to dig my hand up there and see if I can get that little rubber gasket off. So make sure that rubber seal comes off, or you could have major issues. Okay, I was able to reach up there and get the seal, and as you can see, it just pulled right out of the filter. I hope this light is okay where you can see it, but you can just see how it pulled right off the filter, so always check that. Okay, so I am one of the types that puts oil in my oil filter before I put them on. So I've done that. I'm going to try to get this drain pan move some. So I'm going to go ahead and put my oil filter back on. And I'm not going to crank it down, I'm just snugging it up right now. Alright, and then I'm going to get the crush washer ready and put on the drain plug and go ahead and put that in. I'm going to look up the torque, so I'm going to pause this and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm going to torque the drain plug to 25 foot-pounds. Just felt the crush washer crush. There we go. So 25 foot-pounds for that. And I'm going to do it the others. And 8 foot-pounds for the oil filter. And I'm actually using an inch-pound torque wrench. I don't like my oil filters that tight, but that's what the book says. There we go. Alright, now we try to get that oil filter wrench off of there. And let's see if I have something over here. Flat blade screwdriver or something to pop it off. Of course, it's stuck on there. Alright, well, I'm going to get that off, but you see the gist of how to change the oil on these things. I'll add the oil to it and get it to the middle of the sight glass. Don't go crazy with it and fill it all the way up to the top, but just the middle of the sight glass. Run it for a little bit, check it, top it off. Alright, thanks. Have a great day. Please like, subscribe.